All right. So we are live. Okay. So we're going to wait and let some people join in. All righty. We're going to wait to see who joins in today, and we're going to wait on our guests. All right. All right. So we're going to get started. Welcome to The Process. If this is your first time here, welcome to a new episode of The Process. All right, I'm letting our guest in today. So if you are new to the process, you're in for a treat. I am Julius Harper, the owner of J Sharp Consulting. On the process, we share insights, resources that help you to grow your business online, and we ensure you have better processes in your business and your brand. All right, so we're waiting on our special guest today here on the process on this new season, episode 1. We're waiting on Q Jackson to join us. I still say waiting. All righty. It's taking a little time, so bear with us. I'm excited about this conversation that we're going to have. If this is your first time here, you're really in for a treat. Oh, he couldn't join. That's weird. Let's see. There we go.
Yes, there we go.
Perfect,
How are
perfect.
you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good now that Instagram is trying to act right. Instagram didn't want me to be great. It was not allowing me to send a request.
I see that. I had to. I saw that you tried to do it the first time, and then it didn't really join you in. So I'm glad you were able to
Like it
get
just
in.
knocked my entire Instagram out. But I'm here. I'm clear. What's going on?
What's going on? So I was just telling the people that are joining that this is the process, and this is our new season, a new year for us, and just a little bit about the process. This is a platform where we try to provide insights and resources for people that want to perfect their processes while growing their brand and business. So I had you on here today because I am a fan. I have watched your Instagram, and of course, I know you from the Quintessential Gentleman, which is always a huge magazine that I see growing and evolving. And as me being a black man, you guys focus on me. So that's really great. I love that. So that's what I want to talk about today. And I want to kick this off with just talking about you a little bit about your history. How did you get started with branding? I know that you have a background with also having a branding background, and you have your business quintessential branding, which is awesome as well. So tell us a little bit more about that
Yes.
and how did you get started there?
So let me
Uh-oh.
see. This is 2021. So I've been in Atlanta at this point for 14 years in the next couple of months. So maybe my second year or so here, I'm like, you know what, school is cool and I'm going to school, but I want to be a part of a major hub for entertainment. I had some friends that were in the entertainment industry, and they started taking me around different people. And I'm like, okay, I like this. Now I just don't want to be around as a guy that's, the plus one. I want to actually do something. So from that, I had the opportunity to join different companies and plan events and, do other things. I got the opportunity moving forward to be a part of another magazine for about 7 years. And during that time, um, I was getting reached out to a lot by people that were, in my circle, and people that, were just paying attention to the things I was doing via social media. And, they were asking me questions related to their brand. And I'm like, you know what? I actually, I can do this. I like telling people what to do. I like recommending different things to people. So what I ended up doing was starting Quintessential Branding around 2010. And yeah, 11 years later, just about, here I am, still doing it, and, having the opportunity to launch other amazing brands with this one. So, yeah, it's been a long time, but, I'm still here.
Nice, nice. That is awesome. I mean, it's always that when you're able to see something that you start grow into something big, or something you feel like is becoming successful. So I'm very excited for what you're doing, and glad you were able to join us. And I just thank you for sharing that story with us. And I hope that inspires some more people to just see that if you have an idea, if you want to go for something, you can do it. You just got to put your mind to it and kind of get out there and just do it, right? So I always like to do like a little fun activity before we kick off and
Absolutely.
get into the interview side of this. So I want to just ask you I want you to give us five questions, or five words that describe you. You got 15 seconds. Let me get my timer up here, so hold on. Five words to describe you.
Oh, 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Come on, you got it. 5 words. That's all we need. All right, and go.
Okay, 5 words. All right, quintessential, hungry, um, Nana, um, let's see, branding, and amazing.
Okay,
and I have explanations for every single one of those words.
Hey, and we would love to hear those. So tell us what I guess hungry, what does that stand for? What does that one stand for? Hungry. You said hungry. I think you said food or hungry.
So for people who know me, they know that I love to cook. I love anything surrounding food. Hunger comes from food. Yeah, it was hunger, or hungry, or something like that. But yeah, it has to do with food, because in addition to I'm doing food blogging is also another thing that I do. But hunger in the sense of there's always more in life that I feel myself striving to get. I'm always craving something different. I'm always craving something more. I want to taste the different things that life has to offer. So that's where hunger comes from in this sense.
Got it. Got it. Great, great, great. So quintessential, you use that word a lot. It seems to be something, one of your go-to words. Where did that come from? What made you use that word? Your name starts with Q, so I don't know if it comes from that, but tell us where that comes from. Why is that word so important to you?
So honestly, the original quintessential name, I think it was in 2008. I was, working my 9-to-5 job. I was working at the airport. And I was having conversations with coworkers about, what we all wanted to do in life, and, the conversations got going, and we were just coming up with names, and we were throwing names and words out there. Now, quintessential, of course, it's an actual word. It's a word that's in the dictionary. It's a word that people use all the time. And we were thinking about like what I want my brand to represent, and what I felt I represented. I just feel like everybody that comes to Atlanta has some sort of alter ego. So Q, or quintessential, and my alter ego. It was the person that people knew me as when we would go out to events, and eventually, because I had established that as my brand, I'm like, you know what? Let's turn that into, and that's where quintessential branding came from. Like, I felt like whatever it is in life I wanted to be or create, I wanted to be the best at it. I wanted to be known for it. So I wanted to be the example for what something should be. So for me, that's where quintessential came in. And as far as the magazine goes, the Quintessential Gentleman, make sure you guys check out the Quintessential Gentleman, www.theqgentleman.com.
Yes.
That name actually did not come from me, surprisingly. My actually is the one who started the Quintessential Gentleman. And during that time that he was in the process of wanting to launch it, he needed a name that represented the best of the best. He needed a name that represented how great Black men could be. He needed a name that everything that he wanted to put out there. And it just so happened to be the name. So there's Quintessential Branding, there's Quintessential Jonas. So Quintessential is a name that I can't get rid of. And why would I? It's a great name.
It is. It is. It's awesome. It means important. I mean, can't quintessential, important. Exactly. Can't get rid of it. So, seems like you're maybe stalled on us here. Let's see. Dang. All righty. Yeah, can you hear me? I think we have a little connection
If you
issue.
can hear me, I can't hear
I
you.
can hear you.
It's freezing.
Okay, I can hear you. Oh, you can't hear me. That sucks.
Can you hear me? I kind of hear you going in and out.
Yeah, I can't. I can hear you. Okay, there you go. Are you back? We're back. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you again. Go ahead. I got you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get into the questions that I want to ask. So
I'm here. Yeah.
we're living in this. Okay, so let's get into the questions, and we're in this COVID era. It's been around for a year now, and just with that being said, what are some of the 5 tips or things that you would provide someone or
It's breaking
yourself,
up again.
as far as someone who's trying to grow their business or brand? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Maybe I lost you. That connection. Can you hear? Did you hear me? Q? Are you there?
Okay, if you can
Oh, dang.
hold up. If you can hear me, you're kind of going in and out.
Oh, so are you. Oh, dang.
So look, you go ahead and talk, and I'm joining from my other page. So if you can hear me, then I'll just answer that
Okay,
way.
cool. Okay, cool. So I was just asking you, we're in this COVID era and it doesn't seem to be changing. But with that being said, what are some of the 5 things or things that help you to maintain and grow your brand? And what else can you tell someone else so they can grow their brand, especially in this COVID era?
So what are the 5 things? I would say number one would definitely be the ability to adjust and adapt, because a lot of people base their brands on going to events and being in people's faces. But when COVID happened, all that was snatched away from us. All we had, and this is going to go to number two, all we had was our phones and social media. So being able to adapt with any given situation. Number two, make sure your Wi-Fi is good. Make sure you have a great internet connection, because I'm telling you, that is like the absolute worst thing when you're engaging in an amazing conversation and the Wi-Fi goes out, or something happens, and like this where I'm kind of choppy, or maybe on my end you're choppy or whatever. That's something that is it's a mess. But fortunately for us, we can't blame it on ourselves. It has to do with the company. So make sure you choose the best internet company out here. Number three, I there is always something that you have experienced or some sort of knowledge that. What else? Number 4, have clippers at home. For the men, have some clippers because you may not always be able to get to the barber, and you might need to, fix your face real quick before you jump on a live. So have some clippers, ladies. If you, I'm sure y'all got your brush and combs and something like that. Or in I would say those are my top 5.
Perfect. I loved all those answers. I mean, you're correct. You do need to have great Wi-Fi. You need to make sure that you have some type of presence that brings value. What you were trying to say, and then you always want to make sure your appearance looks good if you're going to be doing this thing. Because I mean, we got to connect to people through the digital space. We have to use our phones. We have to use internet. So all those things are very important, especially now that we're in this COVID era. So moving on to the next question, like this kind of goes into that. This is a digital world now. So you kind of mentioned this is a little bit of what you just said, but what technology are you using to manage your brand outside of course, your phone? What are you using that helps to manage your brand, and what can someone else use? What is those tools or those technologies that help you to do what you do on a daily? Um,
Honestly, Instagram is an amazing tool. Shout out to the creators of Instagram. Shout out to social media in general. It is
whoop,
definitely a
whoop.
thing that if you let it, it will consume your life. However, if you use it correctly, it could be the most amazing tool in the world. When Instagram first came out years ago, I got the opportunity to connect with so many people that I never would have connected with around the world. There's also a panel that I've done for the last 5 years. It was called the ATL Lunch and Learn. And when COVID hit, we were preparing to celebrate the 6th anniversary with an event in Atlanta and an event in my hometown of Cleveland. Well, that changed that. So what it did is it allowed me the opportunity to go virtual. And in doing the virtual event, I was able to bring in people that were not just in Cleveland or not just in Atlanta. On this particular panel, I had people from Atlanta that were in Atlanta, had people that were in New York, people that were in, at the time, California and different places like that. So, social media, if used correctly and for the right things, it allows you to expand and reach people that, on a normal basis, if you're going to an event, you may not be able to reach those people. So, I am in love with social. Sometimes I do need a break.
I hear you. Yeah, social media definitely is a huge platform. I say it opened up a market for a lot of people to start businesses for sure. Now, that's something I love
Mm-hmm.
about it so much. If we got rid of it, so many people would suffer right now. So it's a huge economic draw for so many people. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something that you have to keep in mind. I enjoy that too. So moving on, you are a branding master. That's what you do, from what I can see. And so I just want to know what excites you about brand development, and what excites you about it, and why does it excite you?
You know what? It's the people. It's the people, it's the passion, it's the purpose. All of those things excite me. I feel like, over my 33 years of life, I've discovered that I'm very passionate about people being happy or people discovering things about themselves that they did not know. I'm excited about seeing my people thrive. I'm excited about seeing people placed in a position that they never thought they could be in or they didn't think they deserved to be in. I love from enjoying things like that. That's what motivates me. Every client that I've had, over, the past 10 or 11 years, it's become in some ways like during the time we've worked together, it's been like a family because we have those real conversations. I understand everybody wants to start a brand, but who are you? What is it in your life that's made you want to be this person that you wanted to be? I had a client who, she's definitely like family. She had a company that dealt with beauty. I want to know about her. What was it about your life that made you want to focus your life on beauty? So just understanding and knowing who these people are, that allows me to help pull things out of them and do my job as far as getting them to places they want to go and places that they did not think they could go.
Awesome. That's perfectly well said. I couldn't even say it any better. So moving on to the next thing, this is like you said, you said something about standing for something, and this next question kind of goes into something that I feel like is important to kind of talk about. I know that we've been in this state of unrest, is what I want to call it, or what it's been called. And there's been movements that have grown from this. Black Lives Matters is one of those movements, right? And it's important for us. We can't ignore it, being Black men and being Black ourselves. So it's something that we can't just be like, okay, it doesn't exist. It clearly does exist. And with that, how important is it for a Black person now to own a business and own things, especially when it comes to contributing to the economic stability of the Black communities? What do you say about that?
So ever since, the beginning of time, it's been important for us to own our own things. It's been important for us to tell our own stories. It's been important for us to have control of our futures. So that's something that I think people have now realized a little bit more when they have started to see, how important our stories were. You see now Netflix or these different streaming services now have categories dedicated only to us, Black stories. So they've always seen how important our stories were. They were just benefiting off of it. Now it's important for us to take our own stories and share them. Who can share your story better than you? Who can own and give the world you better than you? So when it comes to owning businesses, I definitely think it's important. But I think what's more important than us owning businesses is us, first of all, as business owners, understanding customer service, number one, because that's something that does not happen. But in that, on the flip of that, we have to support each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's the main thing. And when I tell you, I have spent so much of the unemployment check I was getting this Corona season, I supported so many Black businesses, and it felt good. And it's not something we should do because of what we're going through. If you're a business owner out there, you want to be successful at your business. You want to have the opportunity to, thrive off of this. You want to have the opportunity to pass this on to the kids and your family. But we have to be willing to support one another because that's the only way it's going to happen. A couple weeks ago, for all of us who go out and get manicures and pedicures, oftentimes we go to the Chinese people. Nothing against the Chinese people. But chances are while you're sitting in that chair and they're speaking in their language, chances are sometimes they might be talking about you and you'll never know it if you're not fluent in that language. And sometimes it's more convenient, but what does it really do? Because you have to look at who pours into you and who you're pouring into. They don't, and in most cases, most other cultures keep their money in their own community. And
Very
as
true.
they say, it takes us how many seconds or minutes for our dollar to be transferred to somebody else's community, making somebody else happy. The only way that we'll continue to thrive is to invest in our own, and that's financially, that's emotionally, that is everything you can think of. We need to invest in our own people. So to answer your original question, how important is it to own? It is very important to own, but it is very important to support.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That's perfectly said. I mean, you have to support in order to keep that dollar, like you said, circulating in our communities. It has to come back to where we want to see it to be brought into. So we want to see certain things in our neighborhoods. We want to see certain things happening and seeing us being invested in. It's very important
Mm-hmm.
to have that support. It doesn't take much for you to you give that $5, $20 here and there to those other companies that you don't even mind doing it, but you second guess it when it's someone of color or you're black, and you don't even want to do it at all. So that's very concerning, and I think that we have to change that mindset. So really great said. So moving on, going into this kind of last question, it's about storytelling. You mentioned that a lot. So as a brand expert, so what are some of the key elements of someone telling their story? What should they have in that? What are some of the things that a person should have to make sure that their story can land to their audience? You know, it has to be in a structure to that. What does that structure look like?
So to me, there are two things that allows a story to get the traction in most cases that it needs or deserves. And that's authenticity and relatability. If you're being truthful about the things that you speak on, then, a lot of times people can relate to it and they'll connect with something that they're familiar with. Because a lot of times, like when we look at these celebrities, celebrities are celebrities, but they become something completely different in your eyes when you see that these people deal with, hold on, I got to slide a little
It's all right.
bit.
It's all right.
They deal with the same things that you deal with. It just may be on a different scale. So when you're able to look at somebody and say, damn, they share my very same experience. I just never knew it. It allows you to connect with them a little bit more, and it leads you oftentimes to support them a little bit more too, because you understand who they are just a little bit more. So authenticity and relatability.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because the more authentic you are, the more you can relate. The more someone can connect to your story, the better it's going to be, and that's perfectly said. So this last one, this is just to you. Moving towards the future, what does it look like to you? What are some things that you're looking to do this year, next year? What does your brand look like transforming or going into anything new that's happening with you?
So I've gotten more comfortable, I guess, being in the forefront. In the beginning, I, was out there and I was cool. But as I started to help other people, I kind of pushed myself to the back. And I started to, build a lot of different things. Other people build their brands, but there are so many things out here that I want to do. So I mentioned earlier the food blogging, getting out there food blogging. I enjoy eating food. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy the experience. So definitely doing more of that. Continuing with quintessential branding, I don't feel that quintessential branding is ever going to go anywhere. As long as there are people out here that have dreams and passions and need to and want to get it to where they want to get to, I'm always going to be here to help. The like I said, the ATL Lunch and Learn was the panel that I did for 5 years. But during our 6th anniversary, I rebranded it, and it's now the BLK Lunch and Learn. So that is a platform that was created initially to allow us to share our experiences and our stories. And I'm going to continue to, create a space for people to have those conversations and people to connect and listen. I'm going to continue to elevate that and do what we do and have done with the BLK Lunch and Learn. So guys, make sure you support the BLK Lunch and Learn. And the quintessential branding, the quintessential gentleman. We're always sharing stories about amazing Black men. There's always content that's being created. right now, there's something that was released earlier this week, and it's a part of a series, and it's called Black Men Get You Some Therapy. And, you know, we're having conversations that need to be had. So as long as there's breath in my body, whatever needs to be done in this world, on this earth, and our community, I am going to be a part of the change that we want to see and we need to see in whatever way we need to see it. So yes, you'll always see me somewhere. Don't know where it'll be, but I'll always be around.
Nice, nice. Perfect. I know that your future is definitely bright, and I know that you'll look out for a lot of great things that's happening with you. You're doing an amazing job with the Quintessential Branding and the Quintessential Gentleman. Like I said, that magazine is huge. I think that's how I ended up following you because of that. I'm always, you know, I'm just like you said, social media help you to connect. That's how we connected. So I'm looking forward to more and bigger things to see to come. And appreciate you joining us. And yeah, just want to make sure that, you know, we can do this again at another time. And as we move forward, keep connecting. And if this is your first time joining, this is The Process, guys. And we're here with Q Jackson, the owner of the Quintessential Branding. And then he's also a part of the Quintessential Gentleman. So go check that out if you're not. You're missing out on a treat. They have tons of articles and interviews with some of the top actors in the industry. So you can't miss that. All right. So we're out of here and appreciate you guys for watching it. All right.
Hold on, no,
Oh,
hold
okay,
on. Now.
okay,
Give me my 20 seconds.
okay, get your 20 seconds. There you go.
No, real talk. All I wanted to really say was I appreciate you for creating a platform for people to be heard, for people to share and connect. And, you know, I wish you much success on everything you're doing. Season 2 is going to be so amazing because I'm about to send you a couple people. So, yeah, shout out to those people in advance. But, yeah, I definitely appreciate you. We'll definitely do this again. We have some platforms. I have some platforms that we'll definitely talk about getting you on. And 2021 is just about to be an amazing year. And thank you to everybody that is tuning in. You are kind, you are smart, and you are important.
You surely are. All right, people. Thank you again. This is The Process, and this is Q Jackson and Julius Harper, and we are out.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.